Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you. Today is, well, launch day for Diablo as we get started game 1 here in a series. Gonna go ahead and have to adjust this really quickly. There we go. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed I am using or experimenting with a new recording method. Hopefully those of you guys who are watching on your iPads can view this well. There's just a lot of different formats that I have to try and take care of in order to get everything all settled away. Now, this is game 1 in a series between WFZ versus Th000 or Th000 or Samdan. Yes, I'm having that conversation again because I haven't talked about it in quite some time, and I'm sure someone is going to bring it up. Th000 is a Chinese player who has the name Th000, which stands for 3 eggs. And well, that's all you really need to know. I just call it Th000 just because it rolls off the tongue better than Th000. I was using Samdan or Sandan, depending what dialect of Chinese you are using, but people still got confused. So I decided to go back to Th000 because that's how his name looks, and hopefully it's not too confusing. Now, this is game 1 in the series. As I mentioned, this is on Ancient Isle as WFZ spawns as the red human player on the top left. Over here on the bottom right, we have Th000 spawning as the purple human. Human versus Undead in this matchup should be a very, very good game. Both of these players very, very strong, and it should be an entertaining game at the very least. Now, what type of strategies are we going to be seeing from Th000? Now, Th000 seems to really favor strong expansions, but I'm not quite sure if he can really pull off that strategy here on Ancient Isle. The expansions are rather far away, and they're actually rather close to your opponent, making it that much more difficult for you to try and do any sort of militia rush. Now, we did see that the footman did run out here and already kill that sheep, and that was a deliberate move because he wants to try and see if he can get that sheep to disappear before the Death Knight comes with that Rod of Necromancy. Alright, you can see that the Water Elemental is going to be taking a little bit of damage here and quickly taking down that Ogre Magi. Circlet of the ability has been dropped. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is running across the map. Looks like he teched Death Coil first, as he is not going to be able to get there in time all that much, and oh, beautifully done there, making sure to clear out that Water Elemental. Now, you can see that there is one sheep right there, and that sheep, poor sheep, is going to be turning into some skeletal minions in just a moment with bone swords and bone shields. If you don't quite understand the physics of it, neither do I, but then again, it's magic. Death Knight now coming back down over here. It looks like he's going to be looking for another Rod of Necromancy charge to come in with that harassment. Unfortunately for him, though, the Arcane Tower is already up, and with that Arcane Tower, that is going to really shut down any sort of harassment that the skeletal minions would normally be able to do. You can see that the skeletal minions are now a bit on the run. They may end up actually giving that Archmage experience, which would be very dangerous at this point because the Archmage doesn't need that much more experience to get to level 2. Also, it looks like he got a Manual of Health as his very, very first item, as we may be getting Militia. Yes, Militia now running in from the south to try and clear out this creep camp. This is one of Th000's biggest strengths, though. Oh, is he going to be able to go after the Skeletal Minion? Skeletal Minion now down level 2 on the Archmage. There we go. As you can see that the militia are doing their best to try and clear out this creep camp. Death Knight does come in with a Death Coil there, as he does take out the level 3 Null Warden. However, the Death Knight still needs to really do a lot of damage here. Even though he creep-jacked his opponent, he's actually giving him a fair amount of experience with those skeletal minions as well. Alright, Null Overseer down to 113 hit points. Beautifully timed by Th000 to make sure that the experience was not given to his opponent, as the Death Knight now just being forced to fight this fight here. It looks as though another skeletal minion will get taken down, and we are already going into some Scout Towers. Scout Towers, Arcane Towers, or Guard Towers. Both of them are within the realm of possibility, as we should be seeing a Town Hall here. Now, this is going to start to stretch Th000 a little bit. He's now got to cover the entire right side of the map in order to protect all of his investments. If he does not, or if he positions himself on the left side of the map where his opponent is actually in between him and his bases, he could suffer a lot of damage up until all of these guard towers are up. One arcane tower, about 2/3 of the way done, getting very, very close to 3/4. Meanwhile, the Archmage unable to catch up there, as the Skeletal Warrior now runs in between this Goblin Merchant shop here. Now, we are looking at the Archmage continuing the creep, gonna go take out the Kobold Geomancer and also the Null Brute. That Kobold Geomancer dropping that Tome of Strength, so that Archmage has an abnormally a large amount of hit points for an Archmage that's sitting at level 3. I believe normally it would only have maybe 550. I'm assuming maybe around 550, 470, maybe even 525. But no, because of those Tomes of Strength, because of the Manual of Health earlier and that Circle of Nobility, he is actually very strong. However, he cannot get Creepjack like this, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Footmen do have Defend, and now they're going to be able to reflect a lot of that attack back. But the problem is they are now absorbing a whole bunch of damage from those creeps, as the Crypt Fiends are just going to focus down the Water Elemental instead, knowing that that's going to be pretty much free experience. Why not? No, does not get the Water Elemental, as we now see a Troll Berserker and a Red Drake going at it with a Troll Shadow Priest and an Archmage, adding in some additional damage. The Footmen easily able to push back all of those Crypt Fiends, but now that we have a Lich out in play, that Frost Nova could turn things around rather quickly. Alright, the Footman already down to 200 some odd hit points, taking a bit of damage now. There is that Defend. He's trying to run away. Is he going to get a Death Coil off? No, down to 109 hit points and able to survive. That Death Knight still is only sitting at level 2. Really needs to figure out his positioning. There's a Death Coil saving that Crypt Fiend, as we see that the Footman with Defend able to just stop all of that piercing damage. Alright, now going after that Troll Shadow Priest first. No, after the Troll Berserker first. That is a very, very high DPS, low hit point unit. And the Death Knight is now just chasing after it. There it goes. It does get taken down. The Lich gets a Frost Nova off onto the Troll Shadow Priest. And the Troll Shadow Priest looks like it will go down as well. Back over here, Water Elemental just pokes around on the inside. Doesn't get all too much, as the Death Knight and the Lich now coming together for perhaps a very strong counter push. Footman Archmage and those Footmen, Archmage sitting at level 3 with Devotion Aura, 1 point additional armor for all of those Footmen. That does help, but it's not going to be quite enough. So far, we can see that those Crypt Fiends, and now the addition of Obsidian Statues, should eventually lead to Destroyers, but we are still only at Halls of the Dead. We are now going into some Obsidian Statues. Once again, Obsidian Statues very, very strong at keeping both the magic and the hit point side of the Undead army alive, as we're now pressuring the base. Oh, this is a huge play here. Somehow, WFZ realized that his opponent probably did not actually invest anything into his natural defenses yet. So this is making for a rather easy attack by this Lich, as we're looking at guard towers and all these other buildings coming down. Acolytes attempting to repair here. This one Nerubian tower does get taken down. There is one Spirit tower left still, but the problem is now that the base is just completely exposed, all of these Acolytes were going to get taken down too. You can see that the Footmen are coming in. Skeletal minions are coming in as well. So far, there is only one cold tower from the Halls of the Dead, and the Halls of the Dead, I can't even tell if it's attacking right now. No, yes, it is attacking right now, attempting to take down this Water Elemental, as we now see a Scroll of Town portal heading back here. Lich is going to be in trouble. Lich pretty much caught on the wrong side of the wall here, and now is just sitting on the inside of this base. The Crypt Fiends, perhaps if they can actually do enough damage to those Water Elementals in order to break free, or perhaps just even take down some of these poor peasants, that would actually be a good call there. One Obsidian Statue looks like it will get taken down. Death Knight now finally runs over to try and use the Scroll Town portal, and the Obsidian Statue, down to 8 hit points, does escape. That was a huge escape there. That Obsidian Statue really had no reason or rhyme to actually be still alive at this point, but still staying alive and really just saving a bit of that matchup. I think if Tho was paying a little bit more attention and realized that obsidian statue and some of the other lower hit point units were easy pickings, he could have easily taken it out as opposed to trying to chase after units. Now he has to deal with the obsidian statues and also those crypt fiends as they're going to get stronger and stronger. Obsidian statue sitting at 250 hit points right now, should continue to rise with the help of that Death Knight. Death Knight is only sitting at level 2, which means that we will be sitting with level 1 Unholy Aura for quite some time. Alright, Lich apparently doesn't... Oh, nope, I take it back. Yes, the Lich is going to read his book. Tome of Intelligence +2, a little bit more mana, a little bit extra damage. Very, very effective as we're now looking back over here. The Footman engaging against all of these crypt fiends. All right, Footman going to fall rather easily. There it goes. Another Footman could be falling here in just a moment. It looks like it's going to get taken down. There it goes as well, as more and more Footmen are just slowly arriving to this party. Now, normally I would say this Footmen with the Fen do counter crypt fiends, but when you have sheer mass numbers like this, mass numbers will generally win. Alright, the crypt fiends are now just sitting back over here. Meanwhile, you can see that the Death Knight and the Footmen are doing a little bit of an engagement here. The Death Knight sitting at level 3, just going after these units. Not quite sure why he's not going after some of the other units here. You can see there's a Death Coil, and now the Water Elementals have been dropped. Alright, Archmage is still up in the air with that Zeppelin. The Zeppelin is going to really prevent any serious damage to happen to that Archmage, as the Archmage is just going to pull out every unit that is low on hit points. That's the reason why he went after all of the higher priority targets. He knew that the higher priority targets were just going to get picked up, and he wasn't really going to be doing that much damage. Alright, Footman now attempting to run away. There goes another. Ogre Mauler is sitting right off over here as well. We are still getting in a good amount of piercing damage as the Lich and the Crypt Fiends are still fighting away. Lich is sitting at level 3 as well, and now the Death Knight is going to join in on this fight. Alright, the Goblin Zeppelin doesn't like what he sees so far. The Archmage and the Footman wondering where they can get down. They're going to get down right here as, oh, a beautiful Death Coil Frost Nova 1-2 burst onto the Archmage, takes him out. Alright, it is going to cost the Crypt Fiend since we could not Death Coil there, but I am sure the Death Knight would rather exchange one Crypt Fiend for one Archmage pretty much all game long if he could continue to do it. Mountain King still sitting at level 1. Meanwhile, back over here, Death Knight and Lich still going at it once more. It looks like the Lich may get to level 4 here, and that would be very interesting if the Lich does get to level 4. That would make him very, very strong, and also what his second ability could be. Dark Ritual to get more mana does make sense, as he now is sitting at level 4, but he should be having plenty of mana anyways because of those obsidian statues. Mountain King picking up a Tome of Knowledge. The Goblin Zeppelin now, oh, getting webbed down. Oh, this was a huge play. This is a potentially huge play. Are those units going to be able to even get out here? And it looks like they're just going to go ahead and get just fall down here. Wow. They did not suffer dizziness because they were on the ground. Interesting. I did not realize that. But the Mountain King does not suffer dizziness when he falls from a Goblin Zeppelin that's on the ground. Now, we are looking at the Mountain King currently just falling apart here. There is one Crypt Fiend illusion there, and this is a bit interesting as now we are going to try to see that Ogre Mauler perhaps make a mad rad dash for the finish line. Alright, that Ogre Mauler down to 217 hit points. The Death Knight now coming around the corner. Is he going to be able to get enough mana off onto that one unit? It looks like a Death Coil could do it. And yes, it will go ahead and take it down. Lich and Death Knight now both sitting at level 4 and in a really strong commanding position in this game, except for the fact that Th000 has this expansion. Th000 sitting at 50 over 54 compared to 44 over 50, so army sizes are about the same. As you can see, there's 5 extra peasants working on that gold line. Archmage nowhere to be found so far. Is the Archmage getting... no, Archmage should already be out on the field. There's the Archmage. Mountain King should also be joining in shortly. As we can see, there are Footmen and Troll Berserkers looking to work together here. Griffins have already been established, so interesting choice going Griffins. Griffins are extremely powerful against heavy armored units, but I really don't see that many heavy armored units aside from the obsidian statues. And funny enough, the obsidian statues end up transforming into the unit that counters the griffin the most, as the griffin cannot attack those destroyers either. All right, Crypt Fiends are now looking to just charge on here at the 3 o'clock position. Is he going to be able to make it through? There is a meat wagon as well. 50 over 78 supply. There goes another creep as the Archmage, now seen at level 5 with a Ring of Regeneration, may make a little bit of interesting plays. All right, 2 very low hit point water elementals being left behind here. Meanwhile, the Undead just punishing or attempting to punish this expansion ever since it's got here. That expansion 67 over 78 compared to 51 over 60. This is not good news, as the army of the human player already coming in with what looks to be a very lethal force. Coming back around, Death Knight now trying to back off here. It looks like the Death Knight should be able to take down this town hall, 1 base for 1 base. It just isn't a good trade because your opponent or the human player has 2 bases. Now, what is going to be happening next? You can see that the Griffins just attacking. It looks like they have the upgraded upgraded hammer, so that would allow for a little bit of splash damage. As we're looking at the Death Knight, the Crypt Fiend, and the Lich now make their way forward. All right, this could potentially be bad. Are we going to perhaps see a couple of webs? There's 1 web, not going to be enough, and the Griffins are just going to be standing by trying to protect it. It looks like, oh, there is a Stormbolt Death Coil now onto that Crypt Fiend. The Crypt Fiend going to end up falling down there. That is a lot of Griffins at this point in the game. Was that 5 Griffins at this stage in the game, and still no obsidian, no destroyers yet. All right, with no destroyers, I do not believe that anything can really easily challenge all of those Griffins, as the Griffins are just picking off the units 1 by 1. Archmage willing to give chase, doesn't really need to though, gets a free obsidian statue right there on that kill, as all the units are now looking to back off. Paladin now charging in headlong into this group. Where is he going to next? What is he going to be doing next? Not 100% sure, as the Paladin now trying to get away. Paladin very low on hit points. However, the Death Knight realizes, oh yes, he can get the kill with the help of the Frost Nova as well, getting a level 1 Paladin. However, I believe that this expansion camp actually gives more experience than a level 1 Paladin, and not even picking up a Circlet of Nobility, which is generally a very favorable item, now finally comes back over and pulls it in. Griffins continue to creep out and now going after the Goblin Laboratory. Laboratory should get taken down without a problem. Knight is now already upgraded at 2-0. Griffins upgraded to 2-0 as well, obviously, as we do not see animal war training as of yet. All right, let's go. Going after all these units. Gonna go ahead and take down the No Brute. No Warden here as well. Red Drake gonna get taken down. Gonna leave behind a Sobi Mask, and that Mountain King really going to be a one-man wrecking crew if he can stay alive in that fight long enough. With all of that mana, with all of those stuns, that Mountain King can simply turn the fight by his lonesome self. 360 mana on a level 3 Mountain King. That is abnormally high, but with those items, that Mountain King is pretty much 1 to 2 levels higher already, save for any additional... anyways, let's go ahead and come back over here. Let's take a look at these Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends now looking to back off. You can see that the Griffins are going straight after the Obsidian statues, which are very prime targets since they take so much damage. They only deal 7 to 8, but they can deal so much damage here. As we're looking at the Griffins come in from the back here, 47 over 77. Here we go. There's the engagement, and now the Obsidian statues. One gets taken down already. It looks like another one's going to get taken down. And so many units just taken out there, as the purple WFZ now still looking to charge in. Are we going to perhaps see another Guy taken down here. It looks as though, yes, it is going to get taken down. Knight is in a little bit of trouble. Gets healed up again as the Griffins are continuing to push on into this fight. And it really looks like WFZ is going to lose this game now after being ahead for a good majority of it. All right, Death Coil onto a Griffin. The Griffin does not survive as we're looking at all the units now attempting to back off. Let's take a look and get a bit of a reprieve. 65 over 84. 26 over 50.
A player's forces are under attack.
As the units, well, as the Lich almost gets surrounded, this could be very, very bad for that Lich. Lich is seeing that level 5. Could perhaps get a Frost Nova. No, Death Coil apparently incoming from the Death Knight. But perhaps the Death Coil earlier was on cooldown, causing all the problems. All right, Lich now looking to continue to chase. No, not going to do so. Let's head back over here and see what exactly the human player is attempting to do. There is this giant no man's land area where the base originally was, but that base now tucked in very, very far into the back. You can see that the Lich has pretty much lost all of his mana down to 26, and the Mountain King gonna come in for a bash again. All right, let's take a look at this. All right. There we go. Wow. So Lich gives the... Wait. I yawn for a split second, and what happens? All right, so GG. Yes, GG comes in from the WFZ, and Th000 takes game 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game 2. Gonna take a little bit of a rest, though.